Streaming from Oklahoma's own digital studio, this is Jeremy Poplin with Thunder Breakdown.
That's right, it's time for an emergency edition of Thunder Breakdown. Thank you for tuning in via the digital desk. We have a new contract extension that we must bring to you, and we'll do that with Steve McGeehee in just 1 second, but this is just number 3 in the line of contract extensions that we've seen for the Oklahoma City Thunder since they won their first NBA championship. First, it was SGA with the Supermax. Then it was Chet Holmgren. And today, and we saw a few rumblings about this a little bit earlier, and I'll let our guest get into that in just 1 second. But J-Dub gets rewarded for the season and career that he has had so far with a contract extension of his own, 5 years, potentially $287 million. The Thunder have cemented their core 3 for a future run at more NBA titles. That's why we said the dynasty potentially is just beginning in Oklahoma City. All right, let's head out to Las Vegas, where our guest is joining us from right outside the arena, because the Thunder do have a summer league game that's coming up here in a bit, and this is how dedicated this man is. He left the arena during halftime of the early game to make sure that we get this to you here on the digital desk. Steve, first of all, thanks, man. How hot is it outside right now in Las Vegas before we even get into any contract details?
First of all, I don't think clouds exist in Las Vegas in the summer. Maybe 105, 106. I think it's supposed to get up to 110, but anything past 100 doesn't matter. I guess maybe 120 does.
Nope.
But this feels like Las Vegas in July, and it doesn't help that I'm near a black parking lot. You know, just the heat's just popping off the parking lot right in my face. So maybe I'll back up here onto the sidewalk. But
you know what I don't like, Steve?
In July in Vegas.
What I don't like is people will tell you, don't worry, it's a dry heat. Yeah, well, have you ever been in 110 plus? It doesn't matter.
I'm okay with that. I've played golf in this. You drink 4 gallons of water, but I will take this over getting off the airplane in Orlando and it's 195% humidity, and you got to take a shower right away. But I'll take the dry heat over Florida any day of the week, unless I'm on the beach. That's a different story.
Okay, fair enough. Well, we have you here for a reason, an emergency edition. So let's run it down. This is something that we knew was going to happen, right, with J-Dub, especially since we've already seen SGA and Chet. He was hinting at it, though, earlier today on social media, right, that this could potentially be coming down this afternoon.
Yeah, you had to wonder maybe it was going to be yesterday, but then when you saw the hints this morning that something was going to happen, you're like, oh, it's on. It's going to happen at some point today. And you knew SGA was going to be the first one. Take care of your MVP first. It was a matter of, is it going to be Chet or is it going to be Jalen next? Maybe Sam just went with pick number 2 over pick number 12 in the draft a couple of years ago. But it locks up all 3. They've also got Brandon Carlson on a 2-way contract. They have Jay Will. They have A.J. Mitchell re-upped. You know, so Sam's doing a lot of work here, and the season just ended like, what 14 days ago? And I'm still trying to figure out, are we still in last season or are we on a new season? But it's just kind of all blended together. And then they have 4 games here in Las Vegas to play after playing 3 in Utah. So it's been a busy summer, a busy 2 weeks for Sam Presti and company, but they get the job done. I don't think there was any hesitation or any question marks about these guys not wanting to re-up with the Thunder or the contract value of it or the years. But Sam, he knows how to handle these type of situations, and getting that 5th year on those contracts was huge. But he's been down this road before, and he's really amplified it and done a better job this time around than he did with the first couple of, runs with the Thunder when they had Harden, Durant, and Westbrook.
It's a sign of a great leader, correct? Is you learn from, whether you want to refer to it as a mistake, however you want to refer to it, you've learned through the process that you've gone through before. And that's why today and the last couple of days should be a carryover from the celebration that we saw from the parade and winning the championship, because the fan base right now should be on cloud 9. You've got your core 3 locked up for the foreseeable future. Don't worry about the apron. They'll get to that, and we'll spend a few moments on that here in a moment. But right now, you've got 2 years where you're not going to hit the apron at all, where you have to even worry about it because of the way that Sam Presti has financially built this, Steve. It's a masterclass that so many others in the NBA have to be well, jealous of, and also maybe try to steal some ideas from Sam Presti moving forward?
Oh, yeah, there's going to be teams trying to emulate what he's doing. And, first of all, if you have to draft somebody like Dub with pick number 12, I don't know if that's going to be done again, but we'll see. Nikola Topic was also pick 12. He looks pretty good so far in Summer League. We'll see what he looks like here in Las Vegas. But it's just amazing what they have done, that they hit the reset button, and he did I guarantee, a lot of thinking in his office on how to reset this team, build it the right way, with the right players in the court, the right head coach, and then the right deals financially, so where they don't get impacted, as you mentioned, on that second apron. The first apron, teams can manage that one. That second apron, when you're way over the cap, and they really, really start to hit you with money. And some teams are dealing with that right now, but the Thunder on down the road won't have to deal with that. Hartenstein and Caruso, those are guys, Dort, maybe a couple of years from now, they may be playing somewhere else. But the positive, because of the money situation, we'll see. Maybe they want to stay for less money and win some more championships. I would be in that boat. I'd stay and win. That's what you're in the NBA for, is to win NBA titles. Of course, make money as well. But these guys are making good money right now. If it's all about winning titles, I'd want to stay on this team as long as I can. But, the good thing about the players I just mentioned, those guys aren't going to walk for nothing. Sam's going to be able to trade one or two of those guys for maybe some potential first-round draft picks. So the future looks extremely bright for this Oklahoma City Thunder franchise.
All right, Steve, there's a lot of confusion out there about what this potentially means now that they have their 3 stars that are locked in. I've got my cheat sheet here, but 25-26, all 15 roster spots are filled, and they're good. 26-27, projected payroll of $246. Now, that would put them above the second apron on paper, but there's $77 million in non-guaranteed or team option deals with guys like Hartenstein and Dort, Kenrich Williams. They can trim some of that and be okay, and the same is for 27-28 when Shea's Supermax locks in. They've built this in a certain way. They knew that this was going to happen, that they wanted to give these 3 individuals this amount of money. It's the current state of the NBA, but they've done it in such a smart way. That's why there's no reason to push the panic button if you're a fan about the second apron, is there?
No, I think they're not going to hit the second apron. I don't think that's their intent. So, it's the same. You may have to lose a guy or two to get, for money purposes. But when you have a 3-headed monster like you have with Shea, Dub, and Chet, you got to keep that intact. These are 3 guys that get along great. They play well together. They're only going to get better. This is the tip of the iceberg, I think, for Chet. And it's kind of scary. Shea, can he get a little bit better? Maybe. He was already the MVP, so just keep doing what you're doing, Shea. You're going to be fine. 32 points a game, we'll take that every time. Chet's going to get better. He's got to stay healthy. That's an obvious question mark, but Chet's going to be able to, probably put on 5 to 7 more pounds in the offseason, maybe more. He's going to get better. Dub's going to get better. That wrist is going to be better. And it's just amazing what he was able to do with that wrist injury and just dealing with the pain. And I always could revert to that shot in the playoffs where he hit a shot and he's like yelling at his wrist, but he knew there was issues with the wrist, but it's kind of one of like the situation with Brad Pitt and Fight Club. I bring it up all the time. Number 1 rule in Fight Club, don't talk about it. Don't talk about Fight Club. Injuries are a tricky situation to talk about. You don't want to advertise it too much because that'll tip off the opponent. So it was amazing what Dub was able to do and able to play, had a 40-point game with a banged-up right wrist. That's not bad at all. So he deserves every penny he gets in his new contract coming up.
All right, quickly, before we wrap up here, let everyone know how the Summer League has been going so far. You mentioned Las Vegas now. It shifts to Las Vegas. How did things wrap up in Utah? What stood out to you?
Stood out to me, it was that first chance to see Nikola Topic play. And, yeah, he made some mistakes, but there were more positives than negatives when it comes to this guy. You got to remember, he's only 19 years old. He turns 20 next month. And he looked like a guy that had been playing professionally, in international games overseas. He wasn't timid. I kind of like it. He's he stands up for himself. He's not going to back down from a threat or a challenge. That's what I kind of like about him. And it's just amazing. You got to throw him into the mix next year. And it's going to be a deep bench. And so maybe some guys will, get a night off, and then he's able to get some playing time. That's the way it's going to be. And that's a luxury for Mark Daigneault and his staff to have. But big fan of Barnheiser. I love his hustle. Tip England's going to work on his shot. And, of course, A.J. Mitchell, he played the part. He looked like a guy that played in the NBA Finals. He was at times probably the best player on the floor, maybe at all times. But I'm really anxious to see how he develops.
All right, for the last question that I have for you, Steve, is we've got to let everyone in. You might have noticed Steve's background has changed, I think, 3 separate times since we started this. So, Steve, let them know, through the magic of editing, this looks much better than what it did in the raw version, but what happened outside?
Well, we talked about the weather here at the start of this, and not once, but twice, my phone overheated. And the second time, I was at 10. So, hopefully now we're inside at 71 degrees. I think we're good to finish up this informative Thunder conversation.
Yeah, there's no doubt at all. Maybe J-Dub can, I don't know, buy you a mobile air conditioning unit with his new extension that he has that you can just wear. They do have those fans though that hang around your neck. Have you seen those that blow air on you? Maybe one of those. Maybe you can get one specifically for your phone next time if you ever have to do anything outside in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I'll figure it out next time. You know what? This will probably be the first and last time from outside Las Vegas. So it's going to be in the AC, air conditioning the rest of the way. But it's a dry heat.
It's a dry heat. That's right. Enjoy the AC, Steve. I appreciate you jumping on this emergency edition to talk a little J-Dub extension here on Thunder Breakdown.
Let me know when the Thunder season ends. Will you let me know in a memo? Because it's just nonstop.
Yeah, I think you got a few more days, weeks, months. I'm like you. I don't even know anymore. I don't think anyone really knows anymore.
The season starts next week, I think.
That's right. It does. Steve, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. That's Steve McGeehee joining us live from Las Vegas. Ah, yes. Technology. When it overheats, what can you do? Sometimes you just got to have a quick edit button. But that will do it for our emergency pod as J-Dub signs an extension with the Oklahoma City Thunder, 5 years, $280+ million. And now the core 3 locked up for a very, very long time for the Oklahoma City Thunder. That'll do it for us. Remember, check out all of our work, news9.com and newson6.com as well. And we'll see you next time with a Thunder Breakdown here from the Digital Desk.
Thank you for watching this Oklahoma's own Digital Studio sports presentation. Stay with News 9, online and on television anytime for the latest news, weather, and sports.